You see on your screen now, COVID-19, please get vaccinated. Now, I said a minute ago that I would discuss why we were not live last week. And we were not live last week because we were celebrating the homegoing of my brother-in-law, Sonny. And after you saw the picture of Sonny on the screen just now, you saw my plea for you to please get vaccinated. And I put one behind the other like that on the program for a reason. As I said, we were celebrating the homegoing of Sonny last week at this hour of the day. And those of you that are from the New Orleans area, you know that oftentimes we will have a homegoing service. Some folks might call it a funeral service. And that will occur usually in the early afternoon or the late morning. And then after that, that's followed by what's called a repast. And the repast is a time when folks leave the church or the gathering point wherever the religious service was held, and they come together and they eat, they drink, they fellowship. And the whole family is together. You know, the grandparents, parents, children, cousins, aunts, nieces, nephews, the whole family comes together. And we actually celebrate. We celebrate the life of the deceased. Now, for the past year, for a while, all throughout the United States, including Louisiana, folks had stopped having large gatherings for funerals. And I attended several funerals virtually, where you'd have a few family members in the chapel, and it would be streamed live over the internet. And the reason that was done was because of COVID. And folks were not gathering together in large groups because of COVID. But about 2 months ago, folks all over the United States started relaxing, started feeling comfortable, feeling that the worst was over with COVID. Stores started reopening. Bars started reopening. Nightclubs started reopening. Gyms, all different kind of stuff that had shut down started reopening. And one of the things that started reopening was funerals. And folks started having funerals again. Folks would pack the church, and then folks would have repasts. And that's what happened to us last Thursday. we became very relaxed. And I'm taking this time and I'm going slow. I'm going slow for a couple of reasons. Number one is I want what I'm saying to sink in. I want you to really hear and understand what I'm saying. And another reason that I'm going kind of slow is because I'm trying to catch my breath. Understand what I'm saying? We let our guard down. We were at the repast. It had to have been at least 30 or 40 of us, maybe more than that. And we're all celebrating, eating and drinking, talking, celebrating. That was last Thursday. Then comes Saturday. We start getting phone calls and reports about family members that were being tested for COVID and testing positive. And then the reports and the phone calls started becoming more frequent. And at my last count, there were 14 family members that have tested positive since the repast. And I'm one of them. I am blessed, grateful, thankful. I thank God that I had my vaccinations. And even though I still tested positive, even though I still have the COVID, I know that my symptoms are much less than they would be had I not been vaccinated. And you know, for this past year, I've been reluctant, even though I got my vaccination back in March, I think, fully vaccinated, 2 shots. But I've been reluctant to advocate, to publicly advocate for the vaccination. And I've been reluctant because I felt that I didn't want to try to persuade anybody to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. That should be their own decision. I didn't want to try to influence anybody. But I'm sharing this with you, and I am indeed imploring you, asking you to please, if you have not been vaccinated, please go get your vaccination. And I've heard all the different reasons why folks don't want to get vaccinated. I've heard them. Now I understand. But as someone that's living with the disease, someone that's knowing that because I have the disease, I can pass it on to someone else that maybe have not been vaccinated, maybe that has underlying conditions, and that someone else contracts it and dies. It's not over with. And the things that you hear on TV, about how hospitals are becoming full all over the United States. That's no exaggeration. I'm living proof that its resurgence is real. I stand here, sit here this evening testifying that yes, it's real. It's not over with. It hasn't gone away. It's as dangerous now as it's ever been. Whatever you do, not only do it for yourself, but do it for those that are around you. Go get your vaccination. Make sure your family members are vaccinated. Now, I'm not encouraging you to get in a fight with any of your family members, to try to force them to get vaccinated, but encourage them. Encourage them. This is real. Nothing to play with. This is real. All right. I thank my wife for joining us on Facebook. And I've been blessed. And I would just share with you that my wife has tested negative, but I have 3 of my children that have tested positive, 2 grandchildren that have tested positive, other family members that have tested positive. And as I said, the last count was 14. This is something, if you haven't been vaccinated, go tomorrow and get vaccinated.